We're with Demon basketball coach Mike McConathy, whose team won twice on the road last week and now plays twice at home for each of the next 2 weeks, starting Thursday night against Incarnate Word. First, Coach, let's look back to last week. What made the difference for your team on the road against UCA and Oral Roberts?
I think that defensively we did a lot better job. Of course, we played some different kind of defenses than we've really ever played. We played about 37 minutes of zone against UCA. Played a good bit of zone and some box and one and some triangle and two and some full court pressure and man-to-man against Oral Roberts. But just didn't give up as many easy baskets. We were competitive rebounding, even though we lost the rebounding war by 1 in both games. We were competitive, and Daquan Hicks having 11 rebounds in both those games made a big difference on the glass, and was able to allow us to be able to hang on to get victories.
Another key in both wins was free throw shooting. Your team has really excelled in free throw shooting since the conference season started and a little bit before. I know it's one of those things like good putting or pitching. You hate to almost talk about it, but your team is doing a great job at the free throw line.
No doubt about it. If you can step up and make free throws, I think the biggest thing is the people getting fouled are locked in, and they've been making the lion's share of the points from the free throw line. But it's also interesting that Jalen West had 12 or 13 attempts on Thursday and only gets 4 on Saturday. I really don't understand that, because the physical play was the same in both games, but he wasn't able to get to the line. It's been hit and miss with him being able to get to the line. Daquan's been pretty consistent getting to the line, doing a pretty good job. And it's not that Jalen's doing anything wrong. I just think that the way that the game is officiated, there's a lot of difference between every night that we go out.
Okay, that brings up a question. It's always delicate when coaches discuss officiating, but last week the NCAA selection committee came out after the meeting in San Diego, the NCAA overall, and said they wanted to emphasize the same officiating standards will be applied throughout the regular season and in the NCAA tournament. How tough is it for not only players and coaches but officials to continue this shift to the new rules?
I'm hopeful they'll do it. I think it's great for the game, but it's not something that's taking place. The difference in the game in November and December is a lot of difference in January right now. And by them coming back out and making that statement, I'm hopeful that that will continue to be the case. And therefore it's consistent. You go out there and you play. There's never a question, because it's going to be a foul if you put 2 hands on you, put an arm bar on them, and I think that's great for the game.
Okay, let's turn back to things that you do have a little more influence over, and that is the Demon basketball team. With the success last week, talk about the attitude, the approach, and how that has changed and benefited.
Well, me having control is debatable. I appreciate the vote of confidence there, but I think that we've just had to kind of figure out a way. We went back to our waves after 1 week away from it, moved Daquan Hicks back into the second wave. I can't say enough about his willingness to do what's best for the team. He ends up playing in both groups. It really doesn't matter. But just starting off, I think it's given us an opportunity to get Marvin Frazier some quality minutes early, and then we've also been able to put Ryan King in this wave with him, which allows us to be a little bit larger in that group with Daquan and Ryan King, because Ryan King is somebody that played well against UTEP, played pretty good against Baylor. If you looked at his numbers, they weren't, but he gave you a 6'8" guy that's got a little presence about him and really has helped us defensively.
Okay, now you turn the page to this week. Incarnate Word and Abilene Christian, 2 teams transitioning from Division II, first year as conference members. Their games do count in the conference standings. They can't go to the conference tournament, but certainly with Incarnate Word on Thursday night, a team that is playing very well and has proven that it is certainly competitive at the top end of the Southland Conference.
Got 7 players as good as anybody in this league. Coach that's been around, knows the game, and they're very, very tough. It's going to be a very difficult game for us. I'm just hopeful that we can come out and understand that that's the next game. It's the next set of challenges that we have to make a good statement to go get that win on Thursday against a very good team and to try to get ourselves in a position to where we can get a little bit of a roll going.
While when you're on a struggle stretch, no win is taken granted, that's for sure. Of the 2 wins this past week, the Oral Roberts win was the one that's kind of a bridge win that sets you up with a 4-game homestand coming up to really get on a roll. Talk about how important that win was and the 4-game homestand.
It was a huge win, but I got to take you back to the UCA win, because we had to get that win to be able to do anything. Because, I mean, we didn't play exceptionally well down the stretch because our confidence has been shook. And for us to fight through and get that win was big, and then to overcome difficulties in the Oral Roberts games. It wasn't all just kumbaya there. Everything wasn't just like, we intended to, but we were able to hold on, lose the lead, come back, take it, and end up winning the game and get a couple big defensive plays by Jalen West down the stretch. Sadly to say, you wouldn't think your point guard would be a guy that'd be blocking a shot in the left corner or contesting a shot so bad on their best player, Sean Glover, who is just phenomenal, had 32 points on the night, and he contests a shot and he shoots an air ball with 4.3 seconds to go. Heading into this, it gives us the opportunity to put ourselves in a position to take one game at a time to be able to get something going, to get ourselves back in the middle of this Southland Conference race. Stephen F. Austin's 7-0. They've got an excellent team. We've just got to keep battling and trying to get ourselves back in a position to where we're capable of being in there for one of the byes that will be left for the conference, the byes that are left in the conference tournament.
Let's look ahead to Saturday in Abilene Christian, a team that's had some injury problems, but certainly played a rugged early season schedule in its first year in Division I.
It'd be a very tough matchup for us. Anytime you play anybody is a tough matchup, but coming off the heels after a Thursday night game to Saturday night game, mentally being prepared to do what we need to do to be able to get that done. So it's going to be a real challenge for us. It really will, but I think that you take one game at a time, and each game you take what that team does, their strength, and we try to adjust what we're doing against them, different game plans. One of the game plans that we'll be in, we're trying to get back and not give up as many easy buckets that we were giving up early in the year, and I think it's really, really helped us a great deal.
Okay, Thursday night is chili cook-off night. You're quite the chef in many respects. Do you have a favorite chili recipe? Do you cook chili?
Well, I really don't. It takes I got to put a lot of love in that chili, and all those contestants do. My stuff is mostly pancakes and things along those matters.
Don't sell yourself short now. Your pork brisket's pretty good.
But so, I know that'll be exciting for people to participate and be a part of that.
Okay, not a requirement. Any chili's good chili?
No, there's some bad chili out there, I'm sure. But, my wife makes pretty good chili. My mom makes pretty good chili. Both of those are kind of different, but, I like a little chili with a little Fritos and cheese. It's pretty awesome.
Could come in handy with this winter weather.
That's exactly right.
All right, thanks, Coach.
We're here with Northwestern State women's basketball co-head coach Brooke Stoehr. And Coach, you're just over a third of the way through the conference season, so what will you take through the first 7 games to use for the rest of this conference season?
Well, I think we've shown that we can play some really good basketball, and then I think we've shown that we can be a little bit inconsistent. I think some of that is partly youth and just being year 2 in the process, but I feel like that we've been able to execute pretty well offensively at times, so we've shown that we can shoot the basketball at a pretty high clip. Last week that wasn't the case, but felt like we've done a pretty decent job of that. So something we can definitely build on. Feel like that we've been able to change defenses and showed teams some different looks, and that's something that we couldn't do last year. So I think that we've progressed in that area. Some areas that we continue to need to get better on the defensive end and rebounding wise, but I feel pretty good about where we are. We've played a tough early part of the schedule and feel like the schedule sets up in our favor especially over the next 4 games being at home.
Trudy Armstead and Keisha Lee both had really good games over the tough weekend that you just mentioned. Just what made them so successful in the games that they were good in?
Well, I thought Trudy just really from the tip at Central Arkansas was just aggressive on the offensive end of the floor. I thought she really attacked well. First, 3 possessions, she just really was aggressive, and I thought she continued that throughout the night. I felt like they had a hard time matching up with her, and it's something we can definitely build on, especially when we play them here. And then I just felt like on Saturday we were unable to get her enough touches. Trudy's kind of a field player. She gets on a roll, and when she gets touches in and around the paint, she can be very good for us. And I just didn't feel like we did a very good job of getting her the ball in that area on Saturday. Keisha had a really good outing on Saturday. I think she ended up with 25. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but really carried us there in that first half and shot the ball, was aggressive. I think maybe got a little tired in the second half, and credit Oral Roberts. They did a nice job kind of trying to go zone and limit her looks. And they struggled to guard her in man and went to their zone, and then we were unable to get her a lot of clean open looks in the second half.
All right, you're 3-4 in conference thus far. You have a 4-game homestand next. So what does that 4-game homestand do for you and your players?
Well, I think we've been pretty good at home so far this season, and I think it's a confidence factor for them. It's just kind of a comfort level of we know we're in our gym, and we feel like we shoot the ball pretty well at home, and I've got a great home court advantage with our crowd, and just kind of a comfort level in that respect. It's the first time for Incarnate Word and Abilene Christian to come to Prather, and I think it's a new experience for everybody that comes here. So I feel good about that. Obviously, they both are two different teams as far as what we have to prepare for in terms of what they run and what they look to do offensively, but it'll be a good test for us, but we're certainly glad to be at home for a couple of weeks.
All right, you mentioned the first part of your 4-game homestand against Incarnate Word on Thursday at 5:30 and Abilene on Saturday at 1. So just break those two teams down for us.
Incarnate Word they've had some solid guard play, but their leading scorer is an interior post player. Great size, very similar to Beetle at Sam Houston State, and we'll have to do a very good job of pushing her off the block and forcing her to score over the top without getting to the foul line. They do a really nice job. I think they're one of the top teams in the league and getting to the free throw line and converting. So it's something that we've got to be very good at in defending without fouling. They'll spread us out and look to go some 4-out, 1-in and get her some post touches, as well as look to penetrate and get to the free throw line. Abilene Christian on Saturday, it's a team that can really shoot the basketball. They can spread you out. Julie has them playing really, really hard. They're going to come out and defend and look to get out and run and push. They shoot a lot of three-pointers. We'll spread you out, and they've got a number of kids that we have to guard on the perimeter. So it'll be a difficult challenge for us to locate shooters in transition, get the ball stopped early, and not give up a lot of open threes.
All right, good luck this weekend, Coach.
Thanks.